I like this one.
Agent, Gray, Odds and Evens. That's how we gonna do this one, alright. Look, vibe, listen, I was shine bright, but y'all draining all of my energy, claiming that you a friend of me with the traits of an enemy. You got the traits of a traitor. Only time I'm your bro is when you need a favor. You a whole hate, like I hold grudges. Feeling like you pull a trigger when I pull no punches. Flow sick like a rapper.
Days Gone is the Venom of video games. We have like a shit ton of actual professional reviewers that gave, what do you call it, the Venom movie like a terrible, terrible score. They gave it a terrible score, and it wasn't really warranted because it was basically not the norm. It wasn't a Marvel-esque movie. It wasn't a Disney Marvel movie, so it got shitted on. And I basically want to tackle this right now. There's a lot of things that I looked into, when it came to reviewers and things of that nature. God, I gotta really stop saying that. And what I did find out is, of course, there's the actual reviewer. I think her name is Lucy for IGN, that gave Days Gone such a really low score. And I've watched the review too. It pained me to do it, but I watched it. She didn't mention really any high points. She didn't talk about the graphics. She didn't talk about the AI system. She didn't talk about the weather. She didn't talk about a lot of different things. She had a bone to pick with it. Shit, IGN had a bone to pick with the game. Period. They said it was a typical white, gruff male, just off the rip. They also said there's 30 hours of a storyline that, like it was a negative. This just in, it supposedly had 30 hours of recordings, or however many hours of recordings. And it was a negative. It was negative from day one. And I think the reason why it was negative really boiled down to the main character didn't have like that stylistic look. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have like the Devil May Cry look with the characters with coats on and things of that nature, and all of these different things that they have that make characters look cool. I have a special weapon to make the the character look cool. It didn't have really a gimmick other than the zombies. You know what I mean? Of course, we've seen a storyline before about a wife that got lost or killed or whatever the case is. Of course they're going to, have that. I mean, some things happen like that. Shit, you can say that about any video game. Any war video game is going to have the general flavor of war going on to it. An adventure game is going to have the general flavor of it. They just really didn't give it a chance. They didn't give it a chance, and I feel like there was a political reason behind it. Now, of course, I'm going to definitely say there's the social justice warrior reasoning behind it. But I never really thought to myself until recently as to why that is such an important movement. You get brownie points for this feminist movement. You get a lot of brownie points. You know what I mean? You seem like the cool guys. The cool thing to do to say, I'm fighting for the minority, or I'm fighting for, I'm fighting against the machine. And you get a lot of brownie points for that. This was definitely an attack on this specific game. The same thing with Venom. You know what I mean? They didn't have like a character of, of love interest and things like that. It's like people wanted to, you know what I mean? Like in terms of the Venom movie, they didn't have like a likable character in terms of the main character. You know what I mean? They just didn't like it. They already didn't like the movie, and they didn't like this game from the jump. Now, here's my belief. Actually, it's not even belief. They mentioned about the game being very buggy and having a lot of bugs. And granted, it is a little buggy. It's not crazy buggy. Like, it's nothing really game-breaking, but it's buggy. The team was small, you know what I mean? And it looked like it was trying to do a lot of different things. For this little team. The team got overwhelmed by it, you know what I mean? And for the most part, they pushed out a really good game. Their vision is pretty much realized. These reviewers didn't really say anything about the AI systems. Like, for instance, I was almost attacked by a werewolf when I played the game. I was almost attacked by a werewolf, and I started hiding in the bushes. And of course, they noticed me. But at the same time, because they had like the zombies or freakers all around, they attack anything. So when a wolf saw the freakers, it hauled ass. It left. You can go on Twitter, you can go on YouTube and see how these systems work. The rain muffles your noise, so you can really kind of go all balls to the walls in terms of stealth, and be a little bit reckless. You know what I mean? Cold weather really makes it enhance. The time of day, a lot of different things. There's a lot of systems that are going on, and it makes me feel like these reviewers or publications, they rush through the game just to say that they finished it. And plus, there's the fucking SJW agenda going on. They make themselves look cool. And it was only those particular major publications. They had a bone to pick with this game from the beginning. Everyone called it a generic looking game because it didn't have a cool looking character. It didn't have artsy, or it wasn't anime. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about story, they said that the storyline was dry too. If you want to talk about storylines, what the fuck about, Zelda? The Zelda Breath of the Wild barely had a storyline. You get the Assassin's Creed series. Fucking the most convoluted and dry story at the same time that you can ever fucking experience. You know what I mean? So you have those games. They have the Bloodborne and the Soul series. They barely have like stories. Barely. They barely have any stories. You have to look for the stories. And then they mention about, the NPCs, they don't have the proper face animations. And they don't. It's a small team. Got it. But when you have Bloodborne and you have the Souls games, their mouths don't even fucking animate, period. But yet that game's supposed to be flawless. And the reason why that game is flawless to them is because it's the cool thing to like those games. It's a cool thing to say that I beat a very hard game. I am a gamer. It's bragging rights. The same thing happened to Monster Hunter. They gave it a shitty score. A whole bunch of people loved it. And now all of a sudden it's a 9 and 10 with the same fundamental gameplay beats. Then they mentioned about, there's the same gameplay over and over and over again. You can look at the Breath of the Wild. You only have like 5 abilities in that fucking game. And that's it. You have to make up your own fucking gameplay. There's no real scenarios. You have the AI right fine. They're reactive to the systems that they have going on. But then that's pretty much it. There isn't any mission structure in that game. And in terms of Assassin's Creed, there's the same shit going on there. So how come it's okay for the Assassin's Creed game and the Zelda games and fucking the Souls games? They don't even have fucking other gameplay other than battle. That's all they have is fighting. That's it. There isn't anything else. The only time they made a push was Sekiro. And yet those games get perfect and then this game gets slammed? Then they talk about the loading times. Did they forget that fucking Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption had the longest load time before you start the game? And then speaking of cutscenes, what I said earlier, I didn't even know this. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, every time you hit a cutscene, there's a loading screen for the cutscenes. No one said shit about this. No one said shit about when you have when you fast travel, it has to load and there's a black screen and it takes forever. Or they had like a bird or whatever the case is that flies, and when you call that bird back, it has to load to do that. No one said anything about these fucking issues, and yet these are perfect fucking games. This is why I say that this is an attack for the game, point blank period. And just in general, they had a nerve to say something about bugs. This game was full of bugs, right? Did you know that they gave PUBG the most buggiest fucking game on PC on every fucking platform, especially last year and the year prior? They gave that fucking game. Let me pull that shit out. Hold up. Wait a minute. They gave it an 8.9. IGN gave Assassin's Creed on the Xbox One X an 8.9. When they have frame rates that dropped to the single digits. Shit didn't even load. How did you give that game an 8.9? How? So, when people come at me, don't at me on Twitter about this shit. Don't say anything to me about this shit when I say about the social justice warrior shit. Or that there's an agenda with these reviewers. Or that it looks like somebody's paying these motherfuckers off. Who knows what the fuck is really going on with it? Oh, what about Sony? Sony had high-rated games. They must have paid them off too. Sony had bad-rated games. Fucking Gran Turismo is what? Is a 7.5 or 7. Is a 7.5, I believe, on a Metacritic. You know what I mean? Drive Club got slammed. As a matter of fact, Drive Club was broken. The multiplayer aspect was broken. And it was a social racing game. And they got a higher score than this game? And the only gameplay beats for that one was fucking racing? Are you kidding me? This is why I believe that there's some extra shit going on. I don't want to hear shit from nobody. This game was done dirty. This game, like I said before, as I'm playing it, I'm addicted to it for some reason. Anybody that knows me knows that I love Horizon Zero Dawn. I think the gameplay, in terms of the everyday stuff and the emerging gameplay, if you don't know that, search it. I'm not explaining it to you. But in terms of the the emergent gameplay, weather effects, and all the other systems they have going on that affects you in the AI, it's better than Horizon Zero Dawn. Don't at me with this. Like, it is, this to me, the gameplay beats are better than Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn played it, the Guerrilla Games played it safe. Naughty Dog plays it safe. And what I mean by that is that Guerrilla Games had an art style, an idea, basically. And that's all they ran with. They didn't want to do anything fucking extra. The weather doesn't do anything. They just did the bare minimum when it came to open world games. And it pains me to say this, but it's true. The weather effect has no bearing over anything. It's just there. This is why people say that the game felt static. There was no effect to it. The only thing that you did, then you had the camps, the bandit camps, that basically was, you know, it's just the most fucking cannon fodder you can think of. You know, and that game got high scores. Guess what? Because it was a fucking female protagonist. That's what's going on nowadays. There's a female protagonist, and nobody's ever seen fucking robot dinosaurs, is what everybody says. That was the catchphrase, robot dinosaurs, despite the fact there's only one fucking dinosaur type machine in that game. It was just a cool thing to do. These publications look for the cool thing to say and do to get ratings and clicks. And they don't understand or realize that this is affecting the gaming industry as a whole. This is affecting the developers. Say that people actually listen to them. From what I'm hearing, the sales is doing really well for fucking Days Gone. People are making up their own mind and playing it and said the reviews are flat out wrong. I understand that there's an opinion to this, but there's also an agenda behind this shit as well. You're giving shit a bad score to make you look good. It was just so, because all eyes are on Sony. Oh, it got a low score. Of course, somebody's going to click onto it because Sony's not known to have a bad game like that. And this was, no one really liked the game. They saw the game and nobody was like, oh, it looks generic. This was like easy, and they didn't have the pedigree of Guerrilla Games or Naughty Dog or Santa Monica Studios. This was an easy pickings to get easy ratings, and plus the social justice warriors. There was even people talking about some of the fucking zombies are all white. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god, man. The video game industry is so fucking toxic. I am so glad that this had a Venom effect. Because remember, everybody said that Venom was going to be a shitty ass movie. And it turned out to be not that bad. It was a pretty enjoyable movie. It had a lot of flaws. I'm not saying that this game is as bad in terms of flaw-wise as Venom, but it's the same effect where people were like, I want to make up my own mind. I want to see it. And then word of mouth happened, and it almost made $1 billion overall in a few weeks. You know what I mean? For a movie that no one supposedly liked. They got like a 28, I believe, on Rotten Tomatoes. This one got a 7.2 or 7.1, depending on if the score went down or not. You know what I mean? And then people are actually playing it, and they're like, you know what? This is a damn good game. There's something wrong with the reviews. Fuck it. But anyway, that's all my rant. I'm sorry for all these videos I've been making about Days Gone, but I'm super passionate about this. That pissed me off. It really did. Especially seeing PUBG, the most buggiest game I've ever witnessed in a game that was supposed to be like a big flagship game, get an 8.9 on IGN. That's bullshit. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you liked or disliked about the video, and if you liked it, a sub and a like would be appreciated. Peace.